What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now in today's video, I have behind me my Scag V-Ride 2. I just crossed over the 100-hour mark yesterday on the machine, so I want to go ahead and give you guys a pros and a cons video after 100 hours of running this machine. So without further ado, let's hop in this video. Alright, so just to confirm, flip this on here. That's gonna pop up there. We're at 108.3. So you guys can see there. So I'll start off here on the back because I'm already there. The overall ride has been great on this machine. Just having the platform here with the elastometric springs in the bottom on the two corners, and then having this spring system right here, you can kind of hear them squeaking a little bit. It has been great. The ride quality has been great. I've had mostly properties that are just very bouncy, very hilly, a lot of uneven ground, and it has been great. No issues there, no problems with it. The pad also helps with the ride quality because it does have, I don't know if it'll really show up, but a little bit of a bolster right here on each side. So what you can kind of do is, as you're up here on the platform, you can kind of lean into these two sides, whether you're going left or right, and not feel like you're going to fall off of it. And then the elastometric springs, you can also adjust those out. I kept mine from the factory position of all the way forward, so it has the stiffest of ride because I am a bigger guy. I'm 6'3", so having that extra counterbalance almost has been great for me. As far as the pad goes, it has been very comfortable, very well built. The only thing I will say is having this leathery material, it does get very hot in the sun. I know that's with a lot of the pads like this, but after running it for just a few minutes up, you know, just getting some air to it and everything, it's cooled off quite a bit, so it hasn't been an issue. Coming up here to the top for the operator presence, it's been great as well. Parking brake, perfect. When you knock the parking brake off, as you guys can see there, it doesn't stick out very far at all. It does have kind of an offset to the top of it, but overall that's been great because it doesn't stick out far enough for tree limbs and things to catch on it. The only thing that I've had an issue with is a couple times I've gotten like swing sets and stuff, the chains fall into here, and then I got to get those out, but that's a 1 in a million shot because it is out there where something's going to catch into it. Keeping the parking brake off, up here in the top, the sticks for moving it have been great as well. Just this hand motion, the operator presence, pulling these forward, it's super simple. You can drive it one-handed. A lot of times I do, just to give, you know, one hand a break or whatever throughout the day. You can drive that because it's not very far in between here, so it's very nice to just, you know, if you want to go left or right, it's easy to feather them. Super simple like that, forward. And then I'm one of those people, I lean back to check behind me when I am mowing. So for me, it was kind of nice because then I could lean back into this, and then if I needed to, just release them like that, and it would come to a stop for me. But then it's also super simple to just feather it like this, as you're going back to turn your different ways that you need to go. Go ahead and clip the parking brake back up. Super easy to do. Very, very well thought out there with the system in that. The other thing is all of your controls for your throttle, your PTO, and your key are all right here accessible. This is fantastic. Push it forward. You can go underneath and you can push this forward and backward. You've also got your PTO right here, so you can clip this up and off like that, on and off there as well. And then you've also got the key, same position. You can click that on, Tiger Eye system comes on, and then you can go ahead and start it from there. Super simple. You can do it either way. I've done it through here, or you can do everything down through here as well. This is nice because that way you have options, and you know, if you're needing to shut the throttle off really quick, you can reach down in here, or if you're leaning forward in the pad, you can move everything right here as well. As far as deck height adjustment, super easy. Just leaning down here like this, you can see all the different holes. The pin just is a basically half turn or quarter turn. Pull it out. All the numbers are here on the inside as well, so you can kind of go, okay, I want to do 3 3/4 or whatever. Drop it in. Come back up here to the top. Push the button, and it drops down into the position that you want it for. Now this deck is a little bit heavy, but if you get a good leverage point on it, it's okay. So I just get my knees into the pad, and then I can pull it up just like that, and it locks in place. All right, now coming over here to the side, this does have the 8-gallon fuel tank. It's been okay for mowing right now. During the really big spring growth, I was maybe having to top it off maybe once, twice a day, depending on what I was cutting through, which isn't bad for how much horsepower that motor has. It's been okay though. Most days I can go 7 to 8 hours on a tank of fuel and be perfectly fine. And for such a big engine, that's pretty good for just 8 gallons of fuel. Go down here. The wheels have been great. I really do enjoy the ride quality on them, and I enjoy just having that added comfort feature of not having to worry about getting a flat tire. There's been a couple times where it's been close. I've had some carriage screws and random screws and things out in yards that I might have had an issue with, and I didn't have to worry because those, and then also the flat freeze in the front, I didn't have to worry about either one having issues. I did install the advanced chute on this system, so there, and I made a bracket for it right there that goes over where the discharge chute usually is, and then I just reach down here, close that off, and then open up right there. It's not too far for me. It may be farther for some, but really for me, just being right there is okay. I just reach down for the 10 times or so a day that I open and close it. As far as the deck goes, this has been fantastic. The 61-inch with the 38.5, I have not noticed any power loss at all. A couple times if I'm getting into real heavy thick stuff, you'll notice just a little clump at the end, but it is a clump that gets dispersed by how much power it's getting pushed out at. So it's been perfectly fine. There is a little bit of an issue with some of the scalping, but again, it's a 61-inch deck, so you're going to have quite a long area here, and then it's also a very long deck front to back. So as you're going over bumps and stuff, if the deck rises and then it falls, sometimes you'll get scalping either right here in the middle, or you'll get it off to either the left or right side. So not a big issue. Usually if I have a yard like that, I'll just move it up about a maybe ½ inch or a ¼ inch, and it's okay. And then I have a lot less scalping with this deck. Now, as far as changing out the blades, I do have a few pros and cons on that. Just general maintenance on it. These are okay. You can just take a impact and put the, I believe it's 15/16 on there, pop that off, and then the through bolt slides down to the bottom. I usually just put it up on a rack. There's one on that side, and there's one on this side as well. The only issue that I have is for the center spindle. It's basically right underneath here. So this is your exhaust, of course. So if you're coming in after a day worth of mowing and you decide, hey, I want to go ahead and change my blades and reload for tomorrow, it's okay. The only issue is that one's easy to take off. This one's easy to take off. But this one, your hand bumps right up underneath here to the exhaust. And it has gotten me a couple times. It gets really hot underneath here, but really all I've figured out to do is just take the impact, come through from the bottom of the deck, come up and under the underside of it with my impact, and then it pops off perfectly fine, and then just kind of do it the reverse order of the 2 on each side, and I've been okay. So these knobs get a little sticky. I put a little bit of grease on each one of these, just some white lithium, and they've been perfectly fine. Now they're not as sticky to actually turn them off. They turn off a little easier, so it's easier to take this plate off, because you guys have to take this plate off in order to get to that center spindle. Another positive for me was the oil change is super simple. So there's your fill right there. There's your oil filter, and there's your oil drain. Now there is a hose that comes down to the bottom of here, and it just runs right in here, and it runs right in next to the tire down there. So you can basically slide a oil drain pan right underneath the platform, right over there to that side, crank that valve loose, and the oil drains right down there into a pan. So there's no mess, nothing you have to worry about there. And then you can just put a tray or something right here, and then when you take your oil filter off, all that oil will drain into there. So that's super simple for me. Maintenance is a big must for me. I do all my own maintenance, so just having that accessible and everything like that is perfect for me. I really like having that all open right there and having everything on one side. Now I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering how the FX1000 EFI does. This has been an awesome engine on this machine. I have had no complaints with the power, no complaints with how much fuel it's consuming or anything like that. It runs very, very well and very lean if you're not in a lot of tall, thick growth of grass. The power on this thing is crazy. I've mowed through bi-weekly lawns right in the middle of spring that were probably a good 1.5 to 2 feet tall, and it cleaned them up like it was nothing. First pass, and it dropped it down to, I believe I had it set at 3.5 or 3 3/4 inches. It dropped it right down, no issues. Couldn't even tell that the motor changed pitch or anything like that. It just dispersed it like it was nothing. Again, overall fuel consumption on it has been okay with the 8-gallon fuel tank. There's been a few times I've had to fill it up, maybe once or maybe twice a day, depending on what I was mowing through. Thick spring growth usually though, only took about 1 fill up throughout the day. If you're running a lot of open yards, which I am, I noticed a lot less fuel consumption because not as much turning, not as much starting and stopping, and so it's less of the engine having to rev up to get you going again, and that's sucking more fuel into the system. But if you're going on long straight passes or some bigger yards, it's been perfectly fine. It's been great. A lot of good power in that as well. Also, I just want to give a huge shout out to Nick and the guys at Worcester Power Equipment, which is where I bought my mower from. If you guys are in the Northern Ohio area and want a very, very good dealer with a lot of dealer support, go ahead and check out the guys at Worcester Power Equipment for all your power equipment needs. Shameless plug. So there you have it, guys. There is my review for the 2021 Scag V-Ride 2, the 38.5 horse Kawasaki. So there are a few things that I didn't like and a few things that I did like. But again, overall, the good far outweighed the bad on this machine. This is a great machine. It's been a great machine for my company so far, and I look forward to having many more years of service with this machine. I will include a few pictures here at the end of some stripes that it has put down and some cut quality pictures. This thing is an absolute tank. If you guys are thinking about getting a Scag for your business, go ahead and check out scag.com. I'll link them down below. This is not a sponsored video, but a video that I wanted to put out to you guys who may be thinking about buying a Scag for your business in the future. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Click the little bell for notifications to let you know when I post another video. And as always, guys, take care, God bless, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.